Hello, everyone. Looks like we're waiting for. Oh, it looks like we have all of our board members here because Ms. Yabar is not going to be here. Is that correct, JJ?
Yes,
Looks like we've got
she's
everyone.
absent.
Okay. Cindy, it looks like you're on the line. Do you see all the applicants on the line? We can go ahead and get started.
Yes, we're ready to begin. I see them all logged on.
Okay, great. And then staff, are we recording?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone, to the City of Oklahoma City Board of Adjustment meeting for August 20th, 2020. If the meeting is disconnected at any time, it'll be stopped and reconvened whenever the connection is restored. If the connection cannot be restored within 30 minutes, the items remaining for consideration will be continued to the next regularly scheduled Board of Adjustment meeting. The agenda and documents are located at okc.gov. For anyone wishing to speak on an agenda item or under citizens to be heard, hopefully you've previously notified staff by phone or email that you'd like to speak, and we'll call on you at the appropriate time. If you haven't, we'll provide a short amount of time after each item before we vote to have citizens that would like to be heard on any items. When you call in, staff will mute your phone, and we ask that all participants except board members keep their sound on mute until they're recognized to speak. To unmute your phone, press *6. Board members will be allowed to speak and ask questions or make comments at any time during the meeting. Please remember that only one person can be heard at any time. If more than one person speaks, the system will mute one speaker automatically. So we will, in order to hear both speakers, please wait until the other person is speaking, and please wait on any board member if any board member is chiming in on any issue. It's important to identify yourself if you're calling in on telephone for the purposes of the record. And then before you speak, please identify yourself by your name and your address. And the meeting's now called to order. Can we go ahead and take a roll call vote just to confirm that everyone's available, Cindy?
Mr. Merchant,
Present?
Asbury, Kitty Asbury.
Present. I'm so sorry, I had it on mute.
Okay. Privet,
Present.
Voorhees,
Present.
and Ybarra is absent.
Okay.
So we have a quorum.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. The first item on the agenda is to receive the minutes from the August 6th, 2020 meeting. I had a question on that. Let me pull it up really quickly, but I think it was items 12, 13, and 14. The special exception requests, yes, 12, 13, and 14. I believe that those were approved with the conditions that are listed here, but also on the condition that the applicant will have these self-imposed conditions that were in the application. And so I don't know if we need to, if that's included in there somehow, or if we need to amend the minutes just to include that, but I thought I'd raise those issues.
We will we'll add those and republish the minutes.
Okay. Do we want to wait to vote on those until that happens, or can we go ahead and vote?
You can go ahead and vote with making that amendment, or we can bring them back at the next meeting and vote on them then.
Okay. Board members, do you understand kind of what I'm talking about, and are you prepared to vote today on that, or are there any questions about that?
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't there.
Okay.
I'll move we receive the minutes as amended, suggested by Sam.
Okay.
Now, I'll second it because Mike wasn't there.
Okay. Once we get a voting pane, there we go. And then Ms. Asbury, if you could second.
I am clicking on it, but okay. Wouldn't populate for me.
Okay. Cast your votes, please. And the minutes are approved as modified. I think next item on the agenda, pull this up. There we go. Continuance requests or withdrawals. I believe we have one.
One request for continuance. It's item 3, case 14771. The applicant requests this item be deferred to September 3rd.
Okay. Is there anyone on the line that was hoping to speak on that item? Okay. Hearing none, I think we're ready to take a motion.
I'll move to approve that.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to continue case number 14771 to the September 3rd meeting. Cast your vote, please. And it's approved. The next item on the agenda is items on the consent docket, which we have none. And we'll move on to items requiring a separate vote.
All right, Mr. Chairman, before we go too far, I wanted to let you know that they've made some rotations in the municipal counselor's office, and we have a new lawyer that's sitting on the board with us. It's Rita Douglas Talley, and she's new to some of y'all, but not to us. I mean, Mike, maybe not. She probably was on the board when last time he was there, but we're glad to have her back.
Absolutely. Welcome, Ms. Douglas Talley. Certainly let us know if you have any questions or comments for us. I'll probably reach out via email or call at some point just to get to know you a little bit better, but welcome.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to working with you all.
Okay, first item for public hearing is case 14772, request of John Patterson for a variance to permit the temporary use of an existing home while a new home's being built on the property at 15603 Northeast 178th Street.
Okay, is the applicant on the line?
Yes.
Okay, if you wanted to introduce yourself by name and address and present your application.
My name is John Patterson, and we are at 15603 Northeast 178th. And we are excited to build a home out there. We are currently staying in the small shed, and it is extremely temporary. So we'd rather leave that on the property, and if we can, and stay there while we're constructing the house, if we're allowed.
JJ, what are the rules on that type of thing? And is keeping the structure and that.
Well, I think the applicant intends to use that in some other way once they move into the new home.
Right, I saw mention of a pool cabana type
Yeah.
deal. Okay.
We can just make sure that we can work that out with the inspections when they do the final and make sure they're out of that building. And you can condition your variance on an application to remodel that to permit a pool cabana.
Okay.
For me, I think it would be a much tougher question if this were kind of closer to the city center, but just given the area and the available land, I think I could support it, particularly if we could condition it just to confirm that it's not going to be a second dwelling unit, but it will indeed be a cabana or something along those lines. I think I could support it. Board members, any questions or comments of the applicant?
Length of time he's looking for? Year and a half, too? What?
I assume he was looking at forever, but I'll let the
Well, yeah, I guess if it's, yeah, I got you. I was thinking second structure, that type of thing, temporary. But
that was my first thought as well, is how long we'd want it. And then I was thinking, well, if he puts a pool there, he's probably going to want this forever. So,
right. Okay. All
I
right.
guess we can confirm with the applicant. Mr. Patterson, was this indefinite?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I
I guess my question is, well, I think JJ answered it. Being indefinite, could that building ever become, more than what a pool cabana? Again, people just start living in it and we wouldn't know about it.
Yep.
Our intention is to keep that as a place to change clothes while they're swimming. I don't know. It does not have a kitchen stove. It's got a very temporary kitchen in it. It does have a bathroom, but it does not have. It's got a very temporary small kitchen in it for now, and so it would take quite a bit to turn that into a livable situation.
Okay.
how long would this be used as a living structure before the house is built?
Estimated a year.
Okay. I'm open to ideas from the board on how to condition this one. I mean,
I'd say that if that was me, that'd be a long year in that little shed.
I hope it's a lot less than that. It's only about a 1,500 square foot house. 6 months is usually the general time on construction. So, if we get a lot of rain and have a lot of hiccups, then a year would be necessary, but I'm hoping it's not.
Do you plan to install the pool with the new construction?
It'll probably be after the house. It'll probably be spring of next year. There's no reason to install the pool for winter, so
No.
the spring would be the general time we'd be looking to do that.
Okay.
Maybe conditioning it so that it's converted into a non-living or non-livable structure within 2 years. Something like that. And then the condition is that it's not going to be a dwelling structure going forward, but we're okay with it being a cabana. I mean, I analyze this as if he were coming to try to get a cabana, a variance for a cabana, would we approve it? I think we might. And so, for that reason, I'm not against it, but I do want to put some kind of safeguards against there because, apparently someone can live there for a year because they plan on doing that right now. So
Right. Yeah, that was my only concern.
So Sam, I do have a question. Would they have to come back to ask for another approval if it is a cabana?
not if we wrap it all up today
Okay,
with some kind of creative conditions. I think that would be the cleanest way, is to approve it as a dwelling structure now for a period of time and then have them come back for the cabana. But they will have to pay for the fee again and come back and all that. So
okay.
if we can wrap it all up now, I'm sure that's probably most beneficial for the applicant. But
Okay.
if the board's not willing to do that, then we can do what we want to do.
If we could get our approval with conditions and then have our building permit approved and then get the house done on final approval for the occupancy permit, you would have the right to inspect the property, make sure the cabana is what it's supposed to be, and along with the house, and then we could go from there in a year's time.
I think that would work. We can condition, the board order can condition the approval of the certificate of occupancy on the house to conversion of the current building to a cabana or storage building or something other than a dwelling.
I like
Yeah,
that
just
option.
logistically, is he going to be able to do all that within a year? If he's living in it
Well, that's the thing. We don't want to hold up the CO on his house, but
hmm
it may be just a matter of going in and taking out a few items in the kitchen and make it.
Can we get a rule of what a pool cabana is required to have and not have? Is there something out there that we could read?
It can't be a standalone dwelling. It can have restroom facilities or it can have kitchen facilities, but it can't have both.
So, Mr. Patterson, would you, I mean, I think what might work in this circumstance, although it puts the burden on you to resolve this, but it is your application. Within the next year, do what you need to do to convert that to a cabana. It doesn't sound like it'd be particularly difficult. And then the condition today that we can move for is it's on the condition that that existing structure is converted to a cabana before a certificate of occupancy is issued.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Board members, any questions or comments on that?
Is a year long enough?
It's a good
I
question.
think yes. I mean, and like I said, unless we just run into major catastrophe, but 6 months, 7, 8 months should be plenty of time to construct the house.
I don't even know if you need a time limit if you're conditioning it on the issuance of the CO.
That's true.
It could be over in 6 months.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have anyone signed up, I don't think, to someone else to speak on this matter, but is there anyone on the line that wanted to speak on this matter? Hearing none, I think we can open this up to a motion.
I'll move approval with the condition KJ stated. That makes sense.
A second.
Okay. Just for members of the public, for your benefit, the board has a different voting system now that's online, and so we're waiting for the voting pane to pop up.
Who's running their voting thing? Oh, there we go. See it, Mike?
No, I don't see a voting pane yet. Wait a minute. Yes, move. Found it.
There we go. Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve the special exception in case number 14772 on the condition that before a certificate of occupancy is issued, the existing structure will be converted into a cabana. Cast your votes, please. And it's approved.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Item 2, case 14773, request of Delmark Signs on behalf of Quail Springs Baptist Church for a sign variance located at 14613 North May Avenue.
The applicant present?
Yes, sir. I'm Michael Stevens with Quail Springs Baptist Church.
Okay. And just for the record, can we get your address?
Yes. 4629 Northwest 159th Street in Edmond, 73013.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Stevens. If you wanted to present your application.
Yes, sir. With our church campus, we're seeking to add some lettering on the face of the building, on the face of the brick. The lettering would be high above automobile traffic. And it would, the intended purpose is to assist people as they drive onto our campus, and we're seeking to navigate them to particular areas of the building. The one that you're looking at there labeled Worship Center, that's one primary place where we have a difficult time assisting people in wayfinding to it. That worship center does not have a steeple on top of it, whereby our chapel has a steeple. And so inevitably, we have people that come on the campus for a service. And if the service is being held in the large worship center, that steeple attracts people to park by the chapel. And so that's one example of it. The other locations that you'll see offices, these letter are high on the brick. We do have, thanks to the council's prior permission, we have some ground directional signs, but we find that those get covered up when there are a lot of vehicles on the campus.
Okay. The only question I had in the summary of the application, it says 14 plate lettering for the multi-word department name, and then 18-inch for the single word. And then down in the kind of more detailed portion, it says just 1 inch for the, I guess that's multi-word. And it's just supposed to be, I just want to confirm that's supposed to be 14.
Yes, sir. That should be 14-inch for the multi-word and the 18-inch for the single word.
Okay. Yeah, that was the only clarification I had. I think this is similar to schools in that they probably need their own kind of sign codes. R1, makes things difficult for you. So I think it makes sense. I don't have any questions or opposition to it. Board members, any questions or comments?
No, looks pretty routine to me.
Yeah, it is.
I'm very sympathetic to many of the church's older congregation find the letters too small. So I'll move approval.
That must have been citizens voicing their concerns to you and not based on personal experience, right? Okay. Let me just confirm before we do that. I didn't have anyone signed up to speak. Was anyone signed up to speak on this matter besides the applicant? Okay, hearing none, it looks like we've got a voting pane loading. We've got a motion and a second to approve the variance in case number 14773 for the reason it meets the statutory conditions for a variance. Once we're able to vote, cast your votes, please. And it's approved.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the service you provide for our city and our community.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Okay. That concludes the items requiring separate votes. The next item on the agenda is additional items, seeing none. Communications and board reports. There's nothing on the agenda. Board members, did you have anything under that section?
I think that was the shortest meeting I've ever attended.
I tried to, I was thinking this might be the shortest one. We got held up a little bit on that last application, but.
Following my last week's meeting, which was the longest meeting I think I've ever attended.
I listened in to that one from about 1:30 to 6:30.
I think we wrapped up a little bit before 8.
Too long.
Well, you guys need to maybe talk to your chair about mismanagement.
I just can't imagine what time it would have been if Janice was running it.
Yeah, no, I listened to it and it was just a huge docket. So I'm sure you're happy to see 2 items on this agenda.
Yes. Nice break.
Next item is citizens to be heard. Is there anyone on the line that wanted to speak on citizens to be heard? Next item is other business. And Mike, if you wanted to maybe have a motion to limit the amount of time that our meetings can go to 5 o'clock.
Yeah, if I could do that, I would do that for sure.
Maybe we can put our new municipal counselor on that, on figuring out the legality of that.
Yeah, I think we're doing better than our county commissioners are doing.
We'll try to make her job easy. Seeing no other items, we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.